Today, we are going to discuss the best method of teaching division to kids who are doing it for the first time. Now, I know it is a tall claim, so to establish that I am qualified enough to say that this is probably the best method to teach division or long division, I would like to share some of my experience. I've been into teaching for last 25 years, and right from the beginning, I've been working to find better ways of educating young minds. For the last 12 years, I'm exclusively involved in a research that aims at developing an effective model for educating that works in these times. So I think I have had enough experience with the children to know what works and what doesn't. One of the most important abilities that one needs to have in order to work out best educating methodology is empathy. And the empathy, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand the problem from the child's perspective. And coming back to the point, and hopefully I've established that I do have the experience to say what I'm saying. So initially, I will not be going into decimals. I will be covering the decimals, the long division into a separate video. So let's start. The problem is that we adults or people who do have an experience of dividing or division in mathematics, we do understand the logic and the bigger picture of the division because we do have the experience. For example, if I would say 404 divided by 4, your answer would not be 1, 4 ones are 4, 4 ones are 4. You know, this answer is not correct. 4 elevens don't make 404. Because of your experience, because you know that this is a place which corresponds to 100, this value is 400, not just 4. So 4 ones are not 4, but 4 hundreds are 400. And this is a problem that children in generally don't have this bigger picture in their minds. For example, again, if I say what would be the answer of this, so you would say, okay, 5 ones are 5, 5 ones are 5. What about this? An experienced person, a person who has had the experience of dividing or experience of long division, that person would know that there must be a zero here. But a child who's doing it for the first time may get confused, and in my experience, they do get confused. And again, rather than giving them the logic of doing this division right up front, because I think that uh, we better be giving them a process in all these situations where for a child something is new, especially in mathematics. Rather than giving them a logic directly, rather than showing them the bigger picture right up front, it's better to give them a process first. A process that is one, simple enough, and number two, that applies in all situations. ठीक है? So my point is we should give them a process rather than giving them the bigger picture or logic. Once the child starts working on that process, eventually they do understand the logic, they do understand the bigger picture, they do understand how can we come achieve this answer, how can we come to this answer directly without even going into that process that we have taught them in the beginning. So the process is there to help them reach the point where the adults are at the moment. So this gap has to be bridged. Otherwise, we'll keep on telling them that this is the process of doing the long division, and we'll have these exceptions where we'll tell the child, no, 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 no. Actually, in this situation, we'll have to consider that there is a zero, so you'll have to multiply 4 by 0 first, and in another situation there's a zero, but we don't have to multiply it by the number. So rather than giving them processes or logics that need to change every time, or that need to change in different situations, initially we have to give them a logic which is constant in generally all situations, at least all the situations that they are going to face. So now coming to the point, I call my process, my method of division is, I call my method of division as HTO method. It is simple enough. Again, you'll see that now what's new in this method. What I'm trying to establish is your words matter. Your words matter. This matters that you can tell them that this will work every time in all the situations. You'll have to follow the same process in all the situations. There are no exceptions. So this would give them the confidence, and I've had enough experience to tell you that this does give them a confidence, and they can handle the division problem very, very effectively. And although this is nothing new, you all know what is HTO. So if we again tackle the same problem, 404 divided by 4. Now listen carefully how I teach a child how to attack this problem. We say that look at the first problem. Now there's a war going on between this number and this number. We and our we are on the side of this number. This is our hero. This is our warrior, and our warrior is a very a person of very high integrity, and they don't want to fight with with smaller numbers. So our heroes like to fight either with their equals or someone who is stronger than them. So they look for a number which is either their equal or stronger than them. So 4 is equals to 4. So they say, okay, we'll fight with this number. We don't need another number now. So while fighting with this number, remember that these two numbers are not there just for for the sake of being there. They do have a purpose. What purpose is that? First, we need to see that we are going to take only one number. This is decided. Yes, this is decided. Now, how many extra numbers are there? There are two extra numbers there. So we have to tackle these two numbers first by putting two zeros there. And if we put two zeros here, we'll put two zeros here. Now we'll divide. We'll say 4 ones are 4. And we'll subtract it, and the answer would be 4. Again, we'll ask our hero, our champion, that is your opponent good enough? He'll say yes, he's equal to, he's my equal and I can fight him. And we know there's no extra number that we need to tackle. So we can directly say 4 ones are 4. And the answer ends here. We'll add these, the answer will become 101. Now this seems to be a longer version, a longer process, a lengthier process. But by repeating this process, they'll eventually understand that this is 100 actually. And what we are doing is 400s are 400. And they'll start looking at the big picture if they have had enough experience. Again, for the same question that I gave you earlier, 550 divided by 5. Our champion will ask HTO, let's make the HTO. And our champion will ask if the first number is equal or greater than him, and yes, the first number is equal. So he'll decide, I'll fight with this one. These two are extra numbers, so we'll put two zeros here and two zeros here. Now 5 ones are 5, and after we subtract, the answer is 50. Now once again, our hero will ask if the first number is good enough for him. We'll say yes, the first number is good enough because it is equal. So we'll tackle only the first number. There is one extra digit, so we'll put a 0 there and 0 there to tackle them. And now we can initiate the fight. 5 ones are 5, and the answer is 0. When the answer is 0, the problem is solved. The solution is 110. Automatically the correct answer appears. Don't think that this is a small achievement for a child to come up with a correct answer every time in all the situations. So, for your practice, let me give you some other examples and you can further continue your practice with the examples. And if you find some discrepancy, you can always contact me through this channel. So let's work on some other problems, any problem. So let's have HTO, and we'll have 7431. Let's take this and divided by 6. Okay, so 6 is greater than the first number is greater than this than our champion, so the rest of the three numbers will have to be tackled. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Now see here, our STO will expand. It will be according to the number that we are tackling. If it is a 4-digit number, we'll have a 4-digit STO. So this will be ones, tens, hundreds, and then thousands. Okay, so 6 ones are 6. We'll subtract. The answer is 1341. Now our champion will ask if the first digit is equal or greater than them. The answer is no. The first digit is smaller, and it doesn't suit them to fight them. It's embarrassing. So they'll take the first two digits. Are they good enough? Yes, they are good enough. So how many digits are extra there? There are two extra digits. We'll put two zeros there. We'll put two zeros here. Now let's start the fight. 6 ones are 6, 6 twos are 12. You all know how to get them to do this. The answer is 132, 231. Once again, 2 is smaller for our champion. We'll have to take two digits. 1 is extra. We'll put 10 here, and we'll put 10 here. Now let's handle them. 6 threes are 18. 1 5. Now 51 is there. 5 is again smaller than our champion. So we'll take the whole 51, and there's no extra digit here. So we'll tackle this directly. 6 8s are 48. Okay. Now the number that remains is smaller than our champion. Our champion will not fight anymore. Again, remember that we are talking about questions that are not going into decimal. For decimal problems, I'll explain that in another video. Otherwise, the video will be so much lengthy that you might get bored. So the answer is 1238, remainder 3. Good enough? Again, I'm saying is that although this problem seems solution seems lengthier, this process seems lengthier, but this is a sure process. It doesn't have any exceptions, and eventually it will make the children understand, oh, this was not 6 ones are 6, it was 6 1000s are 6000s. And this is how they'll start looking at the bigger picture, and they'll understand, oh, this is what actually is going on behind the scenes. Let's have at least one more problem where we can have a zero in between. Let's complicate things. 2807 divided by 6. Again, let's take 6 because we took 6 in the last example. We are taking 6 again. Again, there are 4 digits, so we'll make an STO with 4 digits. Let's start. The first contender is smaller than our champion, so we'll take 2 of their contenders. How many extras are there? There are 2 extras. Let's put 2 zeros there and put 2 zeros here to make the fight even. And now start the fight. 6 ones are 6, 6 twos are 12, 6 threes are 18, 6 fours are 24, and that's the best we can do at the moment. how are you going to explain tables to them? This is a prerequisite. Okay, this is a prerequisite of coming to division. They have to understand what tables are, what's multiplication tables are, or like at least from 1 to 10. I prefer that they should know from 1 to 12, but again it depends upon the teacher. Okay, so what remains is 0, 7, and 4. Again, 4 is smaller than our number, so our number will not attack him. It will take another one. This becomes 40 now. This is good enough. One number is extra. We'll put 10 here, 10 here. And we know that 6 are 36. That's the closest we can get. The answer is 47. Now again, 4 is smaller. We'll take the whole 47, and there's no extra number there for us to handle. So we'll attack the whole number directly, and that is 6 sevens are 42, remainder 5. Answer is 467 or 5. Notice that this time the thousands column is not used. It doesn't matter. Always tell the children to make the number of column as much as our contenders. And another point for the teachers is to understand that there should never be two numbers greater than 0 in same column. If there are two numbers in the same column, this means child has done some mistake. So it is very easy to check if a child has done any mistake. All the columns should have only one number that is greater than 0. Okay, and so it is very easy to add and come up with the answer. Hopefully this is clear to you, and let me tell you, just give your child this methodology, get them through this process, give them a couple of hundreds of questions, as almost every textbook has. So once they've gone through this solution, they'll be more confident, because they'll know we can surely get to the right answer every time, and we don't have to learn other exceptions, that if there's a zero in between we'll have to do something else, if there's a zero in the end we'll have to do something else. No, they'll have to, they have a process that works every time. So I hope this gives you a better solution. And I know this is nothing incredibly new. It consists of all these already known methods of teaching, but the way we teach, the way the words we use, they do matter. And sometimes we think that we are very logically explaining a situation to a child, but it is difficult for a child to get that logic, because logic is built through experience, and the child hasn't have had that kind of experience like you have. So logic, we cannot say that you are illogical because you don't have any logic, because your mind doesn't work so well, or your IQ is low. No, the logic gets developed through experience, and of course the children don't have as much experience as the adults, and some of the children have had experiences, and some of them do respond to general ways of teaching. They generally do get the long division method very easily, and they do understand the exceptions, but there are lots of children who don't. So we have to come up with a methodology that helps them. Remember, that's the duty of a teacher. The duty of the teacher is not to help children who can do can resolve a situation by themselves. The duty of a teacher is of a facilitator who facilitates and removes the hindrances in the learning process. And where would the hindrance be? The hindrance would be for a child who does not understand. For a child who understands easily, there is no hindrance there, and the role of teacher should be minimal there. It should be minimal there. The role of teacher, the facilitator, should be there where the hindrance is, and to understand the hindrance is more important first, and then you should attack the problem and get the child to resolve it. So there's enough talk. Hopefully I've got the message across. And if you have any situation, questions, queries, you can directly ask me through this channel. Okay, ciao.